A very good evening and welcome to RPM Esports F1. Tonight we are at Spain for round 6 of the Premier Division, and it's going to be a great race tonight. We've got 17 drivers, only one reserve, all lining up around this Spain circuit. Been an interesting week on track for RPM. We've had some glitch lobbies, we've had rain, we've had 3 restarts of the stream last night in the Championship Division, so everything is going to get really interesting tonight. So joining me in the comms booth tonight, we have nobody at the moment because RPM Jones is on his way back from work and his train has been delayed. Well, that's what excuse he's told me anyway. Or he's just stopped off at the pub for another few Stellas. So if you are joining us in the chat, thank you very much for joining. If you could let us know if the sound is working correctly. I did have some microphone glitches last time I was on comms, which is a couple of weeks ago, so please bear with us. The guys, we've had a little bit of a delayed lobby start. One of the guys struggled to get in. We've got 18 drivers actually now, so not the 17 that I said earlier, and we are at round 6 in Spain. But before we start, we will go through the usual proceedings with the standings, so you can see the guys just going out there for their first laps now. We might need to do a quick sound check since nobody is replying to me in the chat, so that might suggest that the sound is not working. It is working, so thanks for that. So leading the Premier Division Championship, in first place in the McLaren we have Banter Brandon, who's got 196 points, who's had 3 wins and 2 second places so far. In second place we've got the Flying Scotsman RPM Colin, who has missed 1 race. He's got 2 seconds and 2 firsts, so that puts him 40 points behind Brandon in second place. In third and fourth we've got the 2 Brits of Al and Jetfish, so Al taking the lead over his teammate with some consistent results there, which has given us Al with 115 points, Jetfish with 112. Closely followed by Higgsy in the... We've got Sinful saying, good evening Spritzy and everyone, out for exciting race, so that must mean the audio's working. We've got Evil Master that should be studying, who can't race tonight, allegedly. So anyway, back to the championship. So we've got Higgsy in 5th, we've got Fretty in 6th place, so Fretty through consistency has had some really good results, 3 5th places, which has put him in 6th place on 76 points. We've got the other Aston Martin of RPM Backer in 7th place, Giraffe in 8th, Maggot in 9th, and making up the top 10 is Brent in the Red Bull with 52 points. If we look at the Constructors' Championship, we've got the McLaren leading the Constructors' Championship with 242 points. Which is thanks to Brandon and Glassy, who've had some... Glassy's had some good results with 1 race missed. We've got the Mercedes in 2nd place on 227 points, closely followed by Ferrari in 3rd with 199 points. 49 points behind them we've got the Aston Martins of Higgsy and Backer, and then we've got quite a big gap then to the Alpines of Maggot and Andrew, with 80 points. The AlphaTauri Fretty one-man team with 76 points. The Williams of Entity and Giraffe on 70 points. Red Bull's not performed exactly as they would have hoped, so that's Brent and Brian, KVK, with 53 points. We've got the Haas team with 14 points, and we've got the Alfa Romeo team of Ricard and Jewel, who have yet to score, and they are both racing tonight, so hopefully they will turn that around tonight. Lastly, we've got the All Tiers Championship, so we'll just have a quick look at the All Tiers. This is updated as of yesterday, so this includes the championship results from yesterday. Of course, the senior division, the first division and the championship division, those results are provisional, subject to stewards' reports, but these all-tier constructors points are actually live as we speak at the moment. So leading the way, I'm very, very proud to say, for obvious reasons, we've got the Aston Martin team with 656 points. In second place, we've got the McLaren team of 613. And in third place, we've got Ferrari, 597, followed by the AlphaTauris with 552, Red Bull 524. So the top 5 teams separated by not really many points at all. So anybody that's racing with RPM is involved in the All Tiers Constructors. So that's going to prove quite a good battle as we go through the season. So as we jump on board with the guys, I am hoping to be joined by RPM Jones, maybe at some point, if he doesn't get the Stellas that he was hoping to sneak in on his way home from work. Then he may be joining me at some point during quali, which would be great because it always takes the pressure off. Good to see you, Shaq, in the chat, saying that Mercedes is looking good, so that's good. We've got Mrs. Bold also in the chat. A very good evening to you. Evil Master's saying that he can't race because his brake pedal is broken. We'll see about that. I'll try and think of a comeback on that a little bit later. But let's have a look at where the guys are at the moment. So in the first 5 minutes, we've got, on the first runs, we've got no surprise at all. We've got Colin, who set a lap with a 1:16.7. Brent in second place with a 1:17.4. We've got Glassy in third place, 1:17.6. Al in fourth, Luke in fifth, Backett in sixth. So all these guys have had a really good first run, getting into the 17s, obviously Colin into the 16s. We've got Maggot, Jewel, Fretty, Ricard into the 120s. Probably not the perfect lap from these guys. Entity, Giraffes on a lap, on an out lap. Brian's not set a lap yet. Jetfish on, spin. Got to be careful with that turn 3. Too much power down there can certainly spin you out. We've got Andrews on an out lap as well. And we've got Always Rick joining us as reserve for tonight. So great to see Always Rick battling again. I'd just like to point out there is no tunnel at Spain, so Rick cannot get stuck in the tunnel and block his brother, which is good news. We are running the TAS system tonight, so we'll just have a quick flick to the TAS system and check on the weather. For those of you that are interested, the TAS system is working, and we have a overcast qualifying, so temperatures of 24, 23 degrees for all of qualifying, and the race itself is going to be interesting. So we have on average 15% chance of rain, so we have cloudy conditions with air temperature of 26 degrees, but we have a 15% chance of rain throughout the race. So that will probably make things a little bit interesting and spice things up as we go on. If you can let me know, if somebody could let me know in the chat about the volume, that would be really appreciated. Thank you, guys. Since Jones is not here, I've recruited the services of my bulldog Charlie, so he's alongside me, and we also have a couple of gin and tonics just to keep the evening. Don't want to get dehydrated, as Colin sets a 1:16.4. So good lap from him. We've got Rick on a lap. We will start to catch up with the guys now in the second half of quali who is on a lap. So we'll have a quick look. It looks like we've got a Red Bull. We've got Al on the lap, so we'll stay with Al. almost matching his previous time in the first sector. We may come back to Al a bit later. Let's have a look at the two. We've got Higgsy coming in and we've got Backer just on an outlap, so we'll come back to Backer a bit later. So as we go through the chicane with Al, still keeping that same delta time. Ooh, goes slightly wide, doesn't invalidate. So we'll stick with Al as he comes through, and then we'll drop on. Looks like we've got the two Alfa Romeos that have gone out in formation. A few cars behind. We've got a spinner there, looks like to be an Alpine or a Williams. As Al comes round now, this last chicane's quite tight, difficult, misses the curbs, good exit, gets the power down, using up all of his ERS, hits the DRS, and Al does improve, but only by 400ths, but that does manage to put Al up into third place, so great lap from Al. Let's have a look on one of these Alphas. And Jules sets a, looks like that was an outlap, so they have gone out in formation. So Ricard is the first one, so we'll stay on board with Jules, which will give us an indication. We've got a yellow showing, that's either for somebody. Oh, Jules goes wide, he does invalidate. He does invalidate, so we will jump to the other Alfa Romeo of Ricard. Thank you, Shaq. Volume is good. Thank you very much. I missed Al nearly murdered by the Alpine. Hopefully not, Shaq. Right, so we've got Ricard coming through. Ooh, big let off there from Ricard. So that'll be a little bit of a surprise. He is a second up on his previous time, but a 120 is probably not representative of the Premier Division. So I don't think that's probably a lap with a mistake that he just got in as a banker as he comes through. Down, takes that in third. Ooh, fourth gear, gets to put the power down, steady. As Ricard comes through now, will hit the DRS and comes through with a 118.4, which puts him up into 13th. So I think that he'll still feel that there's quite a bit of time to be gained there. As we jump back with Brian. Brian is on a 120, so he's on an in-lap. Brent is 1/10 up, and it looks like we're in the middle of Sector 2. So probably if Brent can't improve. I did notice that yellow sausage curve on the right-hand side spun me out. Oh, commentator's curse. Sorry, Brent. Uh-oh. Right, let's go to someone else. Not guilty, Your Honour. Right, Glassy on a lap. He's about equal, a little bit over, but nothing to be concerned with. Did race against Glassy on the practice race on Monday night, and I felt quite privileged to keep up with him for 4 or 5 laps, only to find out that then he'd not been on Spain before, so that kind of ruined that for me. As he comes through now, he's coming up towards the end of Sector 2. Let's have a look at his time to see where Glassy is going to appear, and he does have a 10th up, so he'd be quite pleased with that. This would potentially put him onto the second row of the grid if he can get that 117.5, if he can hold it together in these last corners. Quite tight corners, these last corners. He's going to start the turning at the curb, second gear through, short shift to third, trying to get the traction down as he comes out the last corner now, onto the gas, uses the full, what's he going to do? He's going to come through 2/10 improvement, a 117.4, so puts him onto the second row of the grid. He'll be really pleased with that, and in the meantime, we've totally missed that the Ferraris have blocked out the front row with Luke in second place, so great lap from Luke. We'll try and catch him on his last run. If he does a last run, he might be saving a set of softs for the race. Got a lot of support tonight for the Mercedes in the chat, so we'll have to keep an eye on them and see. We've got Higgsy who's on a lap. We've just spotted on the Taz. We've got Higgsy who's on a lap, and he's gone for third place. So all of his 3 best sectors in that last lap. Great lap from Higgsy in the Aston, 17.4. So come on, Higgsy. Where's his teammate? What's going on? So we know that Glass is probably on an in-lap, which he is. Let's have a look. Where's his teammate? What's he doing? He's obviously having a cigarette in the pits. Come on, Backer. There's only 3 minutes to go. You need to get a bit further up the grid. Oh, Brandon. Now, Brandon's gone a little bit undetected here. Brandon, our championship leader, is only in 10th place. So what's happened to Brandon so far? We'll have to keep an eye on Brandon. So he's coming through now. Let's have a look at Maggot. Maggot goes 3/10 quicker into 10th. So that's a good time from Maggot with the Flying Irishman with a 1:17.7. I think we might have a bit of a... Here we go. We've got Always Rick. Great to see Rick back racing. Rick's had to stop racing this season due to work commitments. So we'll keep an eye on Rick here as we come round turn 3. I'm quite sure he's going to get an improvement from a 1:32. That ranks alongside my worst time ever in Spa of a 1:50 that Backer still annoys me about now. And as Rick comes through, good exit as he comes up to this straight. This is quite a tight left and right, not one to touch the curves. Rick takes that lovely. It's going to be a big improvement from Rick as we come up to the end of sector 2. Doesn't go wide. 12-second improvement, so this would put him in the 120s. I think Rick probably can make even more improvement. Iggsy's retired, so I'm guessing that retirement is deliberate. We'll try and keep an eye out of who else is coming through. We'll stay with Rick now as he comes out the last corner. He's going to set a lap. Is it going to be into the 118s? As he comes over the line now, it's a 1:19.2. That puts him into 16th place. We've also got RPM Entity with a 1:19.2, and we've got Andrew, who's not managed to set a lap yet. So where's this going to put Andrew? Andrew will be disappointed if he's not set a lap. Got a yellow flag in sector 1, but that might be somebody letting somebody through. Oh, Brandon pops one in 3rd place. A 1:17.2 for Brandon. Didn't catch that, I'm afraid. We've got the other McLaren of Glassy, I think, on an out lap. We've got, as we try and catch the finishers, sorry for flicking around, we've got Jetfish coming through, 2/10 up. Jetfish jumps up into 4th place. We've got what looks like a Red Bull that followed him through. It must have been Brent. The next car coming through is Fretty, who is on an out lap, and he does have time as Colin puts in a 1:16.3, so 9/10 quicker than his teammate. So we know who the favourite for this race is going to be. As we have a quick flick through, let's see if we can get to the next driver coming through. Looks like we've got an AlphaTauri who has spun in the last chicane. And we do. It's Always Rick has spun, so we've got RPM Entity coming through. Looks like Backer that was getting out of the way because Higgs is already out. So is RPM Entity going to improve? He's absolutely going to improve. 5/10, half a second improvement, but only putting him to 17th. So wow, yeah, the back 5 are covered by only half a second. Let's have a look who else we've got coming through on a lap. We've got Maggot that looks like we've got Glassy that's gone through, small improvement, 1:17.4. We were going to catch up with Andrew. Andrew has put a time in, a 1:17.9, so he'll be happy that is an improvement on his previous time. And we got Backer who's finished. Backer's also on a 1:17.9. I'd just like to point out at this moment that in senior division, the old man division, the Aston Martin driver of a certain RPM Spritzy also set a 1:17.9 Backer. So there's absolutely no excuse for you setting that time. You should be at least half a second quicker than that. Fretty also on a 1:17.9. So we've got 3 drivers on a 117.9. We've got Jewel on a 18.0, Rickard 18.4, Entity 18.7, and Rick 19.2. So that looks like that is going to be your grid. I will have a quick check for now to see if RPM Jones has decided to make an appearance. Be there in 2 minutes. The message is from RPM Jones. That means he's having another 2 Stellas, of course. Yeah, righto, Jones. We'll see you when you get there. So let's have a quick look through. So we've got Colin on pole. No surprise there. 8 tenths quicker than his teammate RPM Luke. So I think there must be some lessons going on there. Second row, we've got Brandon and Maggot. So great improvement from Maggot there to get on the second row. Third row, we've got Jetfish and Glassy. Fourth row, we've got Higgsy and Brent. Fifth row, we've got Brian and Al. So Al might be a bit disappointed with that. Being back on the 5th row in 10th, we've got Giraffe and Fretwell on the 6th row. 7th row, Andrew and Backer. 8th row, we've gone off screen. So we've got the 2 Alfa Romeos of Rickard and Jewel. And behind them, relying now on the Taz, we've got the Entity, RPM Entity, and Always Rick making up the back of the grid. So one thing that we have changed due to the sound glitch, we are testing not having the formation lap on. So we will be away straight away. So as the drivers just get their strategies ready, I'm going to have a quick drink. And if Jones is, so am I. We're back. Still setting the strategy, the guys. So we'll have to wait and see. We've got Cosmo joining us in the chat saying, come on, Alfa Romeo. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And we're still waiting for players, apparently. And we're off. So obviously some drivers have not realised. We'll try and scoot down. So we've got Brandon has already made a move. Oh, and Brandon's tagged Jetfish. Jetfish has got through. Higgs is up into 3rd. Al has made his way up into 4th. Wow. And then we've got Brian in 5th. Andrew in 6th. Let's have a quick look. Let's go and put some detail on. So let's first of all look at the tyres we're on. Enable the telemetry. Yeah, I don't like this no formation lap business. It's everything's a bit too quick off the off. So Colin already with a 2.2 second lead. So Colin's on the mediums. We've got Brian and Andrew on the hards. I do detect that I may have a co-commentator who's just joined.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Hello Jones, how are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Spritzy?
A little bit stressed at the moment. This no formation lap is not helping at all. So we've got Brent in 7th, we've got Andrew in 8th, we've got Always Rick from the back row up to 9th, we've got Luke in 10th. This has just gone all crazy. I need to check the positions game to see exactly what's happening. We've got a Ferrari of Luke in, so clearly we've got a little bit of a... So Always Rick is up 10 positions into 8th place. We've got the big losers. So Maggot is down 10 positions from 4th to 10th. We've got Luke down 12 positions. Wow. Yeah, this and we've got Brandon down 8 position in 11th. It's all been going on, James, while you've been in the pub drinking that Stella, mate.
Oh wow, that's really... It is very mixed up. I'm just looking at position changes now. I think I got the wrong memo. I see we're in Catalonia. I travelled all the way to Portimao, neighbouring country. I got the wrong track.
I see what you've
Yeah.
done there, and it's taken 2 Stellas to get you back to Spain across the border.
I tell you what, you don't see it very often in First Division, but when I need to move, I can get going.
Oh, mate, honestly, I don't know what's really happening here. So, I mean, quali is as per normal, but Collins managed to pull out a 4.1 second lead on Jetfish. So, Collins obviously just got away, good start out the. Jetfish is up 3 positions in second. Higgsy is up 4 positions into third, and Higgsy's got a 3.7 second gap back to Brian. KVK, aka KVK, and Bakker, who didn't have the best of qualifying, is up into 5th place. So yeah, this has just turned completely on its head. I think what happened on the first lap is that Jetfish and Brandon came together. Jetfish managed to get through, Brandon got spun. I think it was a coming together, and always
and Rick's out. Rick's out. And he's always out at the moment. I've come to it late. The best you can hope for is quick turns of phrase like that. And yeah, Bakker needs a bit of luck, and maybe he has it tonight.
He's always Rick, and he's always. Yeah, it's a little unfair. There's no tunnel here. But, yeah. Oh, right. Well, we've got no safety car, so. I mean, Rick, Rick must have. I'm struggling to see exactly where Rick.
So he lost it on the big winding right-hander where at the end of it, Rosberg and Hamilton hit each other in 2016. Yeah.
Okay.
What Rick's done there is he's done the Rosberg and Hamilton without colliding with anyone else. And we see KFC spun. And he's got to watch out. He's on the straight. Car's coming. And he's got it turned around nicely, but he'll.
That was tight. And this puts the Aston Martins into 3rd and 4th. Oh my goodness me! I think this.
And Bakker up 10 places. Is this chapter 8? Bakker has a good race.
He's got. No, don't say it. Don't say it. He's got. Oh, we've got yellow in sector 1. That looks to be. Is it an Alpine or is it a Williams? It's one or the other. Is it Giraffe?
I'm struggling. Yeah, I think that might be Giraffe there. I'll have a look.
You do know that a giraffe is just a horse with a periscope, don't you?
Exactly.
Anyway.
I can see why you're being lined up to be the next David Attenborough there.
Anyway. Right, so yeah, Brent's closed right up on Bakker. So that gap that Higgsy had to Brian is no longer to Brian. It's now to his teammate Bakker. So I'm imagining that they're in party and they're going to be a bit of team orders in there. So
and also
we've got
Brandon is back.
Yeah, Brandon is back, but Brandon will be absolutely furious because I don't think, from what I saw, and I can't cast comment, but I don't think it was anyone's fault. I think it was just a coming together on the first lap. But yeah, Brandon's really making it back up. So didn't have the best quality to start with, but then came good at the end. So Brandon's kind of working his way through, but he's got his teammate right behind him. So again, there could be a little bit of team play coming in here a little bit later on. Look at Colin's lead now. I'm going to have to go on board with Colin. I think we're going to have to see a few laps with Colin. We're going to have to hide the UI completely. We're going to have to
watch the master at work.
We're just going to have to appreciate the master at work. Yeah. That sounds like a moment to take a drink.
Absolutely. And what's quite strange here is I know I've missed a lot. I'm guessing Luke got caught up in those early lap incidents, but it's not very often you see Luke down in 15th. Obviously, 17th. Sorry, down 15 places. Oh, and Glassy's out. And where's he? And he's come off at the fast right-hander in the second sector.
And it's
big impact into the wall. Yeah, it's going to have to be there.
It's a safety car, and Colin had we were just on board with Colin, having full admiration and gin and tonic, and Colin had just passed the entrance to the pit lane. Yeah. But I don't actually.
And the three behind him have managed to get in.
I don't think that matters in this game, though, does it? Because the delta time controls, if it ever works correctly, which it never does, but it should control the leader catching up with the safety car.
Yeah.
So in theory, that delta time should control or allow Colin to come in. He will put the hards on.
And I tell you what worked out perfectly there in the pit stops. Just I was watching the pit lane there. I've become almost Ted Kravitz.
Have you? No. You are tonight's Natalie Pinkham.
Natalie Pinkham on the Skypad. Well, I've just seen that the Aston Martins managed to do a very nice double stack. So the gap between them was just over 4 seconds. So Bakker managed to get in without losing any time there.
Let's have a quick look at the tyre detail. Have you had a good day at work, mate? Anyway, just for 1 second, just let's put the racing aside. Have you had a nice day at work?
A busy day.
Busy day.
All right day. Yeah.
Did you deliberately delay it just to give me a bit of stress?
Absolutely. I think you thrive under pressure.
Oh, thanks,
I've raced against you.
Thanks, mate. I was, and I saw that in your league last night, the rain came out. I thought, hello, Jones is in here. He loves it. He loves a bit of rain.
Oh no, so this wasn't even my league. I heard about that. This was Championship.
Oh, yours
I wish
was
I'd been in
dry,
that race.
wasn't it?
Yeah, and
What, you mean you got a 5th place in the dry?
well, it could have been better, but I had a little technical issue where every time I turned right, the car turned left.
Sorry to interrupt. So Maggot's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Oh, he's going to be so disappointed with that if he's just missed that delta time. Sorry, back to your it was controller problem if I'm correct, was
So
it?
basically, the analog stick broke and would turn left when I was turning right, which wasn't ideal going round the fast corners.
Is that in chapter 9 of Evil Masters
Yeah,
RLHC6 book? Excuses
I thought I was
about
finally going to get my win.
taking people
I
out.
thought I was, yeah.
Mate, well,
but yeah,
this
this
plays with a broken controller's not too bad, mate.
yeah, I was willing it round, but less about me and slow drivers. We've
I
got
know.
Brent, who stayed out ahead of Colin. 6 lap older tyres.
Yeah, but
Everybody's on the hards now.
Yeah, but Brent started on the hards, didn't he? So he's took the gamble. Early safety car. He can't come in. You can't use up your hards. The mediums will do about 20 laps, absolute maximum.
Yeah, so he's going to fall short on that.
Yeah, so he had no choice. Anybody that started on the hards, Brian, Brent, Andrew, they've had to come in. Where's Luke, by the way? Let's have a look where Luke is.
Luke's in 16th, but he's coming round the long right-hander in the first sector now.
Luke's the guy at the back that you just waited to catch up so you could get going again.
Yeah. So we've got Giraffe
okay,
and
taking his
Jewel in behind as well. But I think our race, it waited till everyone caught up yesterday, which doesn't always happen.
We've got another lap. We've got another lap under the safety car. We do have another lap. It's nice to see Rickard and Jewel racing again. They've not been able to race with us for quite a few races this season. So I think they've only done 1 race in total. So it's nice to see them back. We've got Spinotla joining us in the chat saying Bakker is flying. Yep, he certainly had a great start. Now on the hards, hopefully he can turn this into a good race result and back up his teammate.
Yeah, and he lost out in the pit stop, but to people on older tyres in KFC and Andrew, but they will have to pit. So he's effectively sitting in 6th at the moment. Well, 5th possibly with Brent. But Brandon, right back in there. Shows you just got to stick with it when it goes against you.
I think he's in a net P3. I think Bakker's in a net P3. Higgs is... Oh, sorry. Obviously, this gin's a bit too strong. He's in a net P4. No, P5. There you go. What's wrong with me? I can't count. 1,
And
2, 3.
the stream brought to you by Spritzy's Gin and Tonic.
Yeah, sorry. So it's this new Gordon's pink gin. So a friend of mine's got me onto the pink gin, and it just seems to be a little bit faster flowing than the normal. So Not
Is that
this
just because it
this
tastes
is-
smoother, or?
Yeah, it's a bit sweeter. This is not a commercial, by the way.
Yes, this
RPM
is,
not sponsored by Gordon's Gym. Oh, an Entity's out. Entity's DNF'd under the safety
So
car.
I'm going to try and see. Well, I can't see what's happened there. So he's dropped it on the straight. I don't know what's happened
I
there.
have no idea. Unless that's like a disconnection or... Oh, and Rickard.
I don't want to speculate on Rickard. Yeah,
Oh,
severe
this
collision
is all going
with
on.
Maggot.
This is all going on.
Oh, and
Boys,
with
boys.
Maggot as well, and he's got a drive-through coming up. So Maggot's has
Yeah,
a
Maggot's
very
probably...
sad 3 laps.
Oh, and Brian gets a 5-second penalty for a collision against Higgsy. Why drivers get this close under the safety car? What is the point? Just get racing again safely, guys. Let's keep it. Everybody's
And
like,
Brent caught everyone off guard there. And Collins under pressure from Jetfish, straight off the bat. Jetfish, he obviously doesn't have DRS. He's not going to have the pace. Maggot retires from session. I don't know whether he's done it in. Yeah. And I always think it's worth staying out, even if you're double lapped in 15th, you get a point.
well, yeah, he would have done, but I think if you're on even if you're on the same lap, there may be another safety car. So let's get back with the action. So we've got Higgsy, we've got Brian. Brian picked up a 5-second penalty. Wasn't a drive-through, 5 seconds.
We got Brandon round the outside of Andrew.
Just caught that. So Brandon is making his way through. He's got the same tyres as Colin. So barring any mistakes, Brandon's got to be hoping for a P2 here. That's going to be tasty when Brandon gets up to Jetfish. I don't think Higgsy will give him too much trouble, because I think Higgsy kind of knows when and when not to. And Brian's just having a little bit of a spin there early doors. This is going to be interesting. Brandon versus Brian. We'll stay on board with this one. And Luke will be really disappointed being down in 14th, because Luke qualified second.
Yeah, and Collins into the lead.
Just missed the overtake.
And Brent's still hanging on in there.
That was close.
Yeah,
Collins off.
But so Collins 40 points behind Brandon in the championship at the moment. So Brandon needs to get up as many positions as possible. Obviously, it's 40 points for a race win this season. So it's incredibly tight in the Premier Division.
35 for second. So even if Brandon can get to second and Colin wins, he's only gaining 5 points a race back on him. So Colin definitely needs to be winning all these races.
And that's the thing. I think what Brandon's done ever so well this season, obviously he took advantage when Colin wasn't there, but he's been consistently getting those good points, and that's what does it for you across the season.
One driver that's quite surprised me so far in this race, and also in quali, is Al. He's down in 10th in the other Mercedes. He's had a really good season so far, had some great results, and I just wonder if he's struggling with this track. I've struggled with this track, I have to say. I just couldn't get to grips with it at all, just didn't feel comfortable, and DRS is now enabled. So yeah, I think Al will be a bit disappointed being down in 10th, but obviously that's 10th at the moment. We've got 1, 2, 3 guys that have got a pit, so net P7.
But we're used to seeing Al battle for the podium positions, aren't we? So it's quite surprising to see him down there. But like you said, I think if you're not comfortable with this track, it can be horrible, especially as you've got to do, it's 33 laps around here, and it can be very, very twitchy if you haven't got your setup right or you're not comfortable.
Yeah, it's not the nicest of tracks. I started practicing the track with the wrong setup, which didn't help. And then I did manage to get a decent setup. I'm not going to mention any names, Huss, but thanks for donating your setup. But yeah, I did manage to get a much better setup than the one that I had. I think my setup was for Austin Allegro back in 1978. But yeah, it was just awful. And then it did get better. But Brandon's catching right up. We've got a great battle coming here. We've got Brandon, Brian, and Higgsy.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a... I'm surprised Jetfish hasn't closed as much on Brent. Obviously, Brent on those older tyres, hards obviously last longer, so they're not in a horrifically bad state.
He doesn't need to, though, does he? Because because he
No.
knows that Brent. He knows that
Oh,
Brent's
and
gonna come
Brandon.
in.
Brandon right on the back of Brian here. He's
is,
using
yeah.
his ERS,
He is.
and he got a great drive
But
out
Brian,
of there.
Brian had got DRS as well, so that must be that's got to be set up surely.
I think,
It's got to be running less wing to have that
yeah,
much
yeah,
overspeed.
absolutely, yeah, because he got a good exit, but Brian didn't get a bad exit either. So I think, yeah, you're seeing setup come into it, and obviously during a race, it's nice to be able to get some easy overtakes in the DRS zone.
So next target for Brandon is Higgsy.
And he's gained quickly. He's right on the back of his gearbox. But Higgsy's right on the back of Jetfish's gearbox here. And Brent's dropping them both at the moment. I think Brandon will stay patient for the main straight.
Yeah, I do. I don't think Brent is a concern to any of these guys because they know he's got a pit. Oh, Brandon's right up the exhaust pipe there of Higgsy. Well,
But
I
also
don't
for
know how they
Brent,
race this close.
I think he'll just be hoping these guys battle each other hard, and he can get on some fresh tyres at the end and have less gap to make up, which can come into it. But I think, like you say,
Here we go.
they're
Brandon
not
again.
massively concerned at the moment. Oh, we've got a spinner,
Now Brandon must,
Rickard.
Higgsy's pulled away from Brandon. Higgsy has pulled away, so Higgsy must be running less wing. He must be running less wing than Brandon.
Yeah, and Brandon set him up here though. He's going to look for the inside into. Is this?
Yeah,
I've lost track of
I don't
corners.
think he's going to get
No.
it. No, this is a great battle between these three. We're going to have to at some point drop. Oh, Brandon goes wide there. He's going to cut back. He's surely never going to try a move into the. He is. He's got the move done.
And it's incredibly close.
Oh
Yeah, and very
my
nice, clean
goodness.
racing. Beautiful racing from these two guys.
Maximum
Lots of respect.
there from Higgsy. Higgsy knows that this is about the Constructors' Championship. He's not in a fight with Brandon. I think, listening to the chat in the Constructors channel, Higgsy and Backer. Oh, we've got a yellow in sector 2 and 3.
Yeah, and Andrew spun. And that Backer was just a little bit stuck behind Andrew there, so he's going to now close up onto this, and it's going to be a bit of a DRS train forming to the final podium position here.
Well, Brandon has got DRS, and he just can't get past Jetfish.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Jetfish has got some serious straight line speed in that to have kept these guys behind for so many laps with them in a DRS train.
Yeah, which explains why Brandon now has got the wing. He must be
Yeah.
running slightly more wing, and there's a bit of there's a bit of needle here because it was on lap 1 where the battle.
Yeah, no, side by side. Brandon's going to the outside. Jetfish gives him
is not
room,
gonna
but
give
Jetfish
that.
gets a
He's not gonna
great
give that
exit.
up.
And now he's going to have to wait. There's a DRS zone coming in and a heavy braking into the next corner after this. Oh, Brandon was so committed there. He looked like he might lose that.
Yeah, not to go wide. He's going to wait for the main straight.
Yeah, he's got to. I'm going to have a little look on ERS. So Jetfish has got a bit more ERS, about 10% more here, which plays in his favour on a straight.
I think.
But Brandon's getting so close behind him.
I think once Brandon goes past, it's job done. I think it's more fourth gear. He's got a good exit.
Look at that
He's got
exit,
an amazing exit. And he's
But
got
look at that
DRS.
pace!
Look at
that pace from the move.
He's got DRS is useless in this game, isn't it? Let's be honest. Oh, Brian's
It's,
retired.
oh, and Brian's out. Sabaka's up another position. We've got a lot of people moving up. We've got Luke going very slowly on the
Safety car.
straight.
We've got
Oh, safety car. Yeah.
So what they're going to do now, Jones? What they're going to do?
So
We're
that-
15 laps in. They can go to mediums. Do you know who this is
So that-
played into the hands of? This is played right
Brent.
into the hands of Brent.
Yeah, so
He's
it
gonna get
neutralises
a
the
much-
race a little bit.
Yeah, he's going to get a much slower start.
Yeah, I mean, again, for people like Luke, this brings him back into the race. He's made 3 stops. He's back into it. I'm guessing he got caught up in all the first lap rumble.
He did.
But Brent, it plays into the hands of. I think the hard runners, you've got to go, well, I get 2-3 laps behind a safety car, maybe 2.
What's
Look after my tyres, you've got to go to the end.
What's Colin going to do? Started on the mediums. He's got a used set of mediums that have done 4 laps, 5 laps. What's he going to do?
You could take, I mean, Colin is possible of taking those to the end, but I think he'll stay on the hards. I don't think he'll risk that. Because I think you'll see Jetfish, I think you'll see Brandon, I think you'll see Higgsy, and I think you'll see Backer all staying out. I don't think they'll pit.
Well, we know Brent's going to pit for sure. So
Yeah,
we'll stay on
he'll
board
be
with-
onto the mediums.
We'll stay on board with Colin, and we're fairly sure Colin's not going to pit, as expected. So let's have a look at Brent, and Brent is going to pit. Jetfish, what's Jetfish going to do? Is he going to go to... Can't go to mediums. Nobody started on softs. I knew that Iggsy and Backer should have started on softs. Brandon stays out, Iggsy stays out, Backer stays out, Owl stays out, all staying on the hards. Is someone going to take a gamble? Because if there is another safety car later on, is someone going to take a gamble and put the softs on?
Fretty's in the pits, so we'll see what he does. I mean, he's on the hards now. How many laps have you done
I do
on
hope
them?
we've not got the safety car Delta glitch. We've got 3 cars stationary on the straight.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Please not again, not after Insignia.
No, they're moving again. They're moving again now, which hopefully they can keep moving. Fretty's put the mediums on to the end.
Mediums on. So what did Fretty start on then? Let me have a quick look at the Taz.
Did he start on the hards?
So I don't know. Let's have a look at the Taz. Fretty, where is he? No, he started on the mediums. He's gone to the hards. He's gone back to those mediums. So it's saying that he's on 1 lap mediums. Let's have a look at the...
Yeah, because he
tyre wear.
did 15 laps on the hards, so he must have been involved in the incident on lap 1, pitted.
Yeah, so he's
And
gone
that's
on
brought him
to,
back into
he's,
the race.
He's gone on to those mediums that Fretty's on are only 3% worn all the way around. So
he's on scrubbed mediums basically. So basically,
yeah, he's
in a
quite
very nice position.
And Brent is on mediums, brand new mediums,
Yeah.
in 7th place. So
You're looking at the people in front of them who've done well. Everyone's done, apart from Brandon and Colin, who are about to do their 10th lap. Everyone's in double figures on their tyres.
well, if we look at the tyre wear, they're 20% minimum. So Colin's got 23%, Jetfish got 25%, 21% for Brandon, Higgsy 23, Backer 25, and Al has got 28% wear. So Al out of the front 6, front 6 is wearing his tyres the most. So Brent probably sees himself as getting through there as we wait for Fretty to join up with the rest of the pack. Brian's going to be disappointed with that. Both Alpha and
Brian
Romeo
looked to
still
have
running.
Brian looked to have good pace, which is a shame, but just a couple of moments. But like you said, I think it's one of those tracks that it can feel like it's coming towards you. You feel like you're getting a rhythm here, and then it just bites back, and it bites back hard.
So we've only got Rickard with 1 5-second penalty. There's not really many corners on this track for getting penalties. I noticed that most of the divisions this week have not really had like kind of big penalty stricken races. So that must be a collision under a safety car for Rickard, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Rickard's was a collision under the safety car, I'm pretty certain. I think the only place you can really, if you have a lapse in concentration, is that last corner out of the chicane, if you run a bit too wide over there.
Okay, yeah, on the left-hand side, and then maybe the other one before the other DRS straight.
Yeah, but I
Getting
think
warning off there sometimes.
usually you can't get too close to the curbs on this track because they tend to just throw you off the track.
Safety car is in this lap. If anyone has any predictions in the chat, then please feel free to fire them in and we will read them out. Let's have a quick look at where Colin is. So we will stay on board with Jetfish, or shall we stay on board with Brandon to see what the restart does? We'll stay on board with Jetfish to see when Colin goes.
Yeah, and I'll watch further
Keep an
back
eye
just
on
to see
Brent.
what's happening.
Keep an eye on Brent. Colin's gone, nice and early. good clean restart. That's nice to see. Oh, and they've caught Higgsy. Higgsy was obviously napping.
And I tell you what, Al is all over the back of Backer here.
He's now alongside. Backer's got the inside line.
And his teammates there. Oh, he held it together nicely. Oh, they've made contact!
They've made contact.
And I don't think that's the first time this season.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Not the first time this season they've come together. And we've got Brandon past Jetfish around the outside. And he gets it nicely turned in. And he's now going to try and chase after Colin. Brandon looks like he's had good pace. But can he get anywhere near Colin is the big question. We've got Brent up to 5th.
I think no is the big answer.
Yes, yeah. It's
Brent
usually
is
like
up to
asking if
5th.
I'd finish a race, and it's a big no.
Brent
up to 5th.
on those mediums.
And Fretty up to 8th.
Yes, come on, Fretty. Not that I'm supporting him, but come on. Yeah, you love the underdog. You absolutely love the underdog. Yeah,
Especially
Fretty's
because it
doing
looked like it
awesome.
wasn't going his way at all tonight. And he's just made the right. He tends to do very well when
Yeah,
there's
he does. In
unpredictable
terms of strategy,
situations. Yeah,
Well, as we
and
know that the it's quite easy to, not easy, sorry, wrong word. It's common to profit from safety cars when you're not in the lead, because you can
Yeah,
afford to take
absolutely.
that gamble, can't you? You know, when you've got nothing to lose, you can take that gamble, and all of a sudden, incident on the restart, and you're back. I mean, Fretty's back in the game on mediums, only 4-lap pole mediums. He's in a fantastic position. Same as Brent, really, in 5th place.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brandon, that gap is maintained about 1.5 seconds. He's dropping Jetfish. Higgsy's not within the DRS, and I think it's going to be Brent looking to get that final podium place. And I think if I was Fretty, I'd be looking at him thinking, I could well get a top 5 here for sure.
Yeah. I think I'm not sure. I don't think Higgsy will be looking to fight Jetfish. I think Higgsy will be looking at that 4th place, thinking, I'm happy with this. Brent on those mediums, because you can obviously see what compounder tyre your opponent's on. I think Higgsy will probably think, you know what, they might go off towards the end.
Yeah, and try and just save his tyres, look after his
possibly.
tyres.
I mean, if it was me now, I would be inclined to let Brent pass and try, especially because of the gap, as Brent decides to go past anyway. Oh, that is a massive late break there.
And he gets it stopped perfectly.
Yeah, so
Higgsy's having a little look, but he won't have the grip.
see,
And there goes Brent.
If I was Higgsy, I'd just look to try and stay in Brent's DRS. He's still got great ERS as well. So I think,
Yeah.
for me,
And they've dropped L by
we've got
2.5
yellow, we've got
seconds.
Yellow, we've got yellow in section
And that's
1.
Backer. Is that Backer? Yeah.
It is. He's going to be fuming. He's going to be fuming.
Yeah,
He's
it's not the
gonna be
first
really,
time
really
him
destroyed.
and Al have come together this season.
Well,
But I won't speculate too
no,
much.
Same, mate, same. But I'm not going to
but-
speculate, but it was caught perfectly on stream. So
Yeah.
there you go. I don't think we need to speculate.
No. No. Colin's starting to... He's dropping Brandon by about 2-3 tenths now per lap.
Yeah,
And we've got Brent. Look how much he's caught Jetfish. Brent is flying.
Yeah, Brent, you're right. You're totally right, mate. Brent sees this as a podium on those mediums. Colin sets the fastest lap with a 120. Brent's going to be fairly close here, though, on those mediums. Does Brent take it from him? No, he doesn't. Oh, look at the overspeed. Look at the overspeed. Oh, it's
Yeah, and
just
I don't think
a little bit
Jetfish will
defensive.
fight that too hard. No, I think he knew that he'd never make it easy, but you're fighting a losing battle there, aren't you, against the mediums?
You are at this point in the race after 5 laps, but I think after 10
Lap
laps,
30 might be a very different
lap
story.
30 might be a very, very different story. Although that said, these guys, you've got to remember, these guys have done 14 and 15 laps on these hards.
Yeah, so it could be just a war of attrition at the moment on the tyres.
Yeah, I tell you what would be interesting is to actually look if these hards are going to last the race. because we've got Al. So Al, for example, has got 42% on his rear left tyre. What other battles we got? Ooh, we got one here with Fretty and Giraffe, the horse with the periscope.
Yeah, and Fretty's been stuck behind him for a little while now, but Giraffe's not going to get any help from any DRS trains or anything, so let's see how he can defend it.
Get DRS here. Is he going to... Oh, it's Brent. There we go. There we go. That's a bit delayed.
Yeah, because Brent's...
That must be the...
Well,
sorry, it must be the lap before. Yeah, Fretty closing in. Ooh, bit of a defensive move. Going to go around the outside, get the inside on the next corner.
Yeah, gives him room.
Oh,
Both give room.
Move.
A lovely move. But
lovely
Giraffe
move.
has a look here, but you're never going to... I don't think you can ever really get right up to make a move into turn 3 here.
No,
Yeah, and now Fretty's freed up. He's going to get after Al.
Is he? Yeah, well, yeah, probably is because of those tyres that Al has got. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, and I think Fretty in the next 5 laps is going to have to try and make that move.
And Luke's coming as well. Right behind them is Luke, and Luke had got pace similar to Brandon and Brent. So
yeah,
you know, qualifying second.
And I'm actually looking at this. Brent is closing, but not by the amount. Oh, he just had a little bit of a moment on the curb there. He's not closing as much as you think, but Brandon and Colin, what incredible pace they've got on 15-lap-old hards here.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, it kind of ruins the viewer's race, but I don't think Oh, with Fretty spun. Fretty has spun.
Oh, and Alfa Romeo spun behind him, Ricard.
Oh, what happened? What? Oh, and he spun again.
Yeah, and those tyres will be seriously overheated.
Oh, it's just... What?
He's struggling to get it turned around. He's third time lucky, and he's in.
Trying to park at Sainsbury's. It's everywhere. Right, so Andrew has... I think I saw a message come up there that Andrew has left the session, so he's gone into AI. That might have been a disconnect. So Fretty on those mediums. Fretty's now gone to the softs. If there's a safety car, Fretty's going to be in a great position.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both Alfa Romeos still in the race, Joel and Ricard. Although Ricard is in the pit, he's coming onto the softs. That puts Backer up to 9th, but he's on 17-lap old hards. So that's released. We've missed this. Sorry about that, Luke. We've missed that Luke has gone past Giraffe. So Luke from relatively last place has worked his way up to 7th. So great effort from Luke here. Great comeback from him. We've got Al who's running sort of on his own.
But he's actually closed up a bit to Higgsy in the last 3 or 4 laps. Just quietly going about his business. Bit more what you'd expect from Al, because like you said, in 10th, not what we've seen from him at all this season.
Well, bar the incident that we've seen, which is yet to be discussed, yeah, I would say from 10th up to 6th, and he's closing in on Higgsy with, I mean, yeah, this is a reasonable performance from him. You've got to say that the top 2, I mean, Colin goes without saying, as we were having a Colin respect moment when the first safety car came out. But,
yeah.
But you've got to say, I mean, Colin is almost untouchable. But you know, I actually also credit Brandon because he's holding the same pace now, 2.4 seconds.
Yeah.
And he's had to work his way back up through the pack after that first incident with Jetfish.
And I think what's interesting about this season in the Premier Division, obviously Colin missed a couple of races, but Brandon took advantage of that. You have to do that in a championship, and
yeah, well,
he's never making it easy for him. If Colin wins, Brandon's second most of the time.
You're the Excel master, so if Colin wins every race after this, and Brandon's finishes second at 5 points each with a 40-point gap, that to me says 8 races. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
and we've got,
what,
6 races left?
No, we've got 14 in total. So we're on
14.
round 6. So this is 8.
Oh, so we could have
So we could have a tie if they finish
a
first and
showdown
second.
in the.
We could have a tie, or one mistake could potentially, I mean and that's assuming that Colin wins every single race and assuming that Brandon finishes second. So it's whilst it only looks like a 40-point gap with Brandon in this sort of form, well, Brandon's just dropped to second.
Yeah, and
what have I said? What have I said?
it's the curse of the commentator there, and Rickard gets
Rickard.
fastest lap on the soft.
Rickard, where's that come from?
Absolutely flying along
I'm
on
sure
them.
that was faster than Rickard's quali lap.
And actually, interestingly, I know Brandon has dropped back. Maybe he's starting to struggle with those tyres more. I mean, as we know, Colin is just relentless with his pace. Brent has got a little bit closer, about half a second gained in the last lap.
Yeah, but I think
So that's one to keep an eye
made
on.
a mistake. I think he's made a mistake.
And interestingly,
We've got
Higgsy's
we've got
closed up on the back
Glassy.
of Jetfish
We've
as
got-
Owl's closed up.
We've got Glassy joining us in the chats, saying that they are some spicy potential standings. Yeah, thanks for that, mate. Yeah, well, that's like the Thursday night maths. It's the best we could do. They could be dead equal at the final round. That's as good as we've got.
The only issue is I don't want to completely ruin the maths we've just done. Is fastest laps might change that a little bit.
Yeah. But come on, we're about entertainment, aren't we, James? We're in the entertainment business. So we've got to make stuff up and we've got to make it interesting and try and get people entertained and
Some backstory, some drama.
We want to make a few things up. We want Cosmo to jump in the chat telling us we're wrong and Glassy saying it wasn't his fault and
there was a stare down in the paddock
absolutely,
and all that.
this is what we're about. I mean, as the season goes on, we are going to create some cracking stories towards the end. Well, we are now. Anyway.
Spygate might be in full force at some point.
And Richie might be back with the chocolate biscuit gate. So, I mean, who knows? It could all happen.
I don't want to speculate because I'm watching on board of a Ferrari, but I won't say anything about Biscuit Gate. I thought that was behind us.
No, Biscuit Gate is definitely not dead. We've got Cosmo in the chat saying you are so wrong. But then Cosmo tells us that we're wrong about absolutely everything anyway. So, Colin and Brandon, they're gonna do 25 laps on the hard. So, I mean, looking at this tyre wear, correct again. You're the maths person. Colin's got 53% on the fronts. So
it's about 2.5%.
Ala's got
a lap.
61%. This could be. I wouldn't say they're going to puncture.
2.5% a lap. That means 2.5% a lap, or 3% for Al. So we've got 7 laps left.
Yeah, this is
no
towards
6 laps left.
Towards the end, this might be a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure that out. 6 laps, 18. He's going to be getting close to 80% wear on Al's tyres are.
Do you want to borrow my abacus?
I could do with a spreadsheet, to be honest. Abacus
a
little bit before my
a little
time.
bit before your time. They're going to be. They're going to be all right. I don't think they're going to puncture. Oh, I tell you what, Iggsy's closed up that gap on Jetfish.
Yeah, he's been closing it, but Al has closed up on him. And then Luke Giraffe's been right behind Luke ever since he got overtaken. He hasn't dropped back from it at all.
Oh dear, this is this doesn't bode well, does it? Watching a Mercedes against an Aston Martin. I'm on board with Al, 3/10 behind. But Al's definitely got worse tyre wear than Iggsy, so...
Yeah, you could see that there going through that corner. He just couldn't get as he's just running wide.
Yeah, they're hanging on to these tyres. I think looking at these onboards, it looks to me like I'm only a mediocre driver, but it looks to me like they're really like hanging on around them fast corners, and there are still 4 laps to go. So we could potentially be in a position that we might get 1 or 2 cars that get a puncture.
Yeah, and
Luke's done 24 laps on these hards.
because usually I think you'd be looking more towards. I mean, lap 15 was even earlier from what my strategy was saying.
Yeah.
I think we got onto lap 12 because of a safety car, and these guys run it, what, lap 10? No,
We've
before that. Way before that.
We've got Sinful telling us to give a message saying it's hammer time to Al.
Push.
Al, Sinful says push.
It's lucky I didn't read that wrong, because I'm
would have
sure
been a bit
Al is
strange,
listening to us
wouldn't it?
greatly and say box. But yeah, here we go. Will Jetfish try and help Al here, or do you think it's?
What you mean? Working together to slow Higgsy down? Never. No, impossible. Bit risky, given that Higgsy.
And I tell you what, though,
DRS.
while all this is happening, Luke has finally
He
got
has
a little bit more of a
2.5.
gap,
2.3.
and he's closed in. And Giraffe is coming with him. Bakker is completely doing his own thing at the moment.
Bakker's having a coffee and a fag while he's driving. Don't worry about that. He's bringing it home in 9th, hoping that there's a couple of DNFs.
Oh, and contact between Mercedes and Aston Martin again.
Oh, missed it.
Alan
missed
Higgsy in the
it.
same corner. No, not too much drama, but that means Higgsy has dropped back massively from Jetfish, and that'll be his DRS gone.
Oh,
Andrew
it's
picks up a
Andrew.
3 seconds penalty.
I think that's Andrew's AI. Can AI pick up penalties?
Uh,
I'm sure I saw
clearly
Andrew
they've
leave the
made-
session. Maybe I didn't.
Maybe they've made AI much more aggressive on the curbs this season. This battling, Luke will be loving, because he is gaining and gaining and gaining. And Al gets a bit of a better exit through there. I'm not sure if you were on board. I'm certainly on board.
I'm on board with Al, but I'm conscious that we need to cover some other. Oh, Colin, fastest lap, 19.1.
Yeah,
Colin,
and it's now 5.5
Colin, that was
seconds.
almost faster than my quality time.
Yeah, and that just shows you the level of what Colin can do. In contact again, and now
Sorry for the.
Al doesn't want to be getting that. No worries. Oh, a big twitch. Still, I mean, how do you?
DRS,
He has a
DRS,
big moment,
yeah.
and he collects it so quickly. Yeah,
Oh,
I think this is.
Higgsy looks like he's
top supply.
porpoising. Have they
He
introduced
did look like he was porpoising that. Yeah.
It did, yeah.
And is he going to hang it in the inside? And they make contact again. And I mean, story of the season.
Look
I
at
know
Luke,
Aston
6
Martin
tenths.
get.
6
Yeah.
tenths. Oh.
I tell you what, though, Spritzy, you wouldn't think Aston Martin are getting engine to Mercedes the amount they're fighting this season. But here we go with Luke. What a recovery drive this has been.
Oh, Bakker's gone
26
into the pits to
laps.
Put the softs on.
Yeah, he's going for fastest lap then,
Fastest
possibly
lap,
here.
he is.
Yeah, he's got the gap. I say that. Here comes Fretty. But Fretty's on 8-lap-old soft,
Yeah,
so
they'll be useless.
yeah, they're about done.
I like what Bakker's done there.
Yeah, he had the gap to do
Oh,
it.
hello,
and-
hello. No, what? Yeah, they do. Even the softs, they do still take a little bit of warming up, a little bit.
Yeah, and Fretty's getting very close here. Bakker's run a bit wide on the apex. He's just got to
Luke's right
ease those
behind
tyres in.
Higgsy now.
Yeah, and I think, well, and
Oh, he's
Giraffe
got-
is
he's
right
got-
behind
Luke's
as
got
well.
DRS, and he's using up all his ERS. Higgsy's porpoising again, and
He's not got
Higgsy's
enough,
out. Higgsy's out of ERS. Luke,
but so is Luke.
switch
But
back.
Giraffe's having a look at this. Giraffe's having a look. He's getting right behind it as well.
He is. Yeah, this is gonna.
And he's got a
These
great run
tyres
on them
are going.
both.
These tyres are going. That's what it is.
I tell you what, Giraffe's having a look at Luke up at the inside. He's got a great run on him. Oh, so close. And Giraffe with nearly a beautifully opportunistic move. And
Now
yeah, you can
Luke's
see
out of
Bakker's
DRS.
got his tyres fired up if you're looking at the timings.
Yeah, seeing the 1.8
he's dropped
gap.
Fretty.
Oh, Giraffe is. This is This is going to boil over with 1 lap to go.
And yeah, Giraffe's closer to Luke than Luke is to
Oh, here we
Higgsy
go,
now. And
here we
Giraffe's
go.
having a look. He's going to try and take the inside. He's got the run. Oh, but Luke gets so close to Aston Martin. That compromises him. And Giraffe, is he through? Luke hangs it on out.
He's not.
And he's got it inside. Oh.
No, not done. But Luke has got less ERS. Higgsy's got even less. Oh, what a great race from these 3 guys.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to see a move on this straight. They're all a bit separated out by that battling.
Higgsy doesn't have. I mean, they need to fix this because DRS is useless in this game, isn't it? Let's
no,
be honest.
it doesn't do it. It doesn't do enough. I don't
Absolutely
think.
Useless. Oh, what a
no,
late
look at
break
that
from
Luke.
Luke.
Like the old Danny Ricciardo there. He's going to have a look. Can he get the drive? Will he have a look up the inside, or is he going to wait to the DRS zone in his second sector?
Higgsy's
Giraffe will be hoping they.
I've got to go. I've got to go with Colin. We're joining him
I'll
back.
keep you updated on the battle.
Keep us updated. Oh, as Backer does
Backer,
get the
fastest lap. That's very good. And he's dropped Fretty by 4 seconds in that lap.
So the king of RPM, perfect performance, pole position, didn't get fastest lap, so he doesn't get the gentleman's set, and does get the race win.
Oh, and it's kicking off behind! Giraffe's had a look up Luke, Luke's had a look at Higgsy, and they're all side by side.
We've got Brandon coming through in second, we've got Brent that's going to take third, Jetfish is going to take fourth, and this is all going down to the last corner. We're staying on board. Luke's going to have a look, Giraffe's going to have a look, Higgsy's going to have a look, they've got a drive, double draft. No, it's going to be Higgsy, Luke, Giraffe.
And I tell you what, fantastic race into the last there.
Yeah, good race from them. Backer coming in 9th. He's got an 8 second gap on Freddie.
I tell you what though, I know he's not had the ideal race. He'll be very, very frustrated, but what a great idea, an intelligent move of all that frustration to go and put those softs on and get the fastest lap.
Extra point, it all helps. There he comes through, Backer,
and
Freddie in 10th.
Yeah, and a bit of an unfortunate race for Aston Martin there. They were, was it 3rd and 4th at one point, or 4th and 5th? And just
it was
bit unlucky.
We've got the Alfa Romeos coming through, which is great because they've not scored any points before. I think this is the AI of Andrew. I might be wrong, and I'm sorry if I am, but I think this is the AI of Andrew, and we've got Jewel that's already passed. So that is your results for the race. So we will have a check-in, and we will see if we can get any of the top 3 in for interview. I suspect that we may get Brandon, because he seems to like a bit of an interview, does Brandon. I don't know if we'll get Colin. We can invite him, we can try.
Absolutely.
And Brent, I'm not sure if Brent will join, but again, we can try. So, quick run through with the results for the person who does the results tables, who likes this screen. So, we've got Colin in first, Brandon in second, Brent in third. We've got Jetfish in fourth, Al in fifth in the second Mercedes, Higgsy in the Aston Martin in sixth. Luke, fantastic comeback from Luke, started in second, dropped all the way back through, and all the way to the back, and then worked his way back through to 7th. Giraffe finishing, great race from Giraffe, finishing with some good battling in 8th. We got Backer, really unfortunate for that little tap on turn 1 with Al. That will be discussed afterwards. Freddie scoring points again in the Alpha Tauri in 10th. We've got Rickard in 11th, Andrew in 12th, and we've got Jewel Warrior in 13th. The DNFs for the race were Brian, KVK KFC. We've got Maggot in 15th, also DNF'd. RPM Entity, RPM Glassy. He'll be disappointed with that. I know he'll be disappointed with that. And then RPM Always Rick, again, he will be disappointed with that because he would have been looking for a good run out on the weeks that he can race. So there is your results. We will see if we can get any of the drivers in for a driver interview. as my other co-commentator enters the room, my bulldog. Obviously, he's looking to get in on the action, so I guess you've invited him, Jones, have you?
I have. And we'll see if we can get anyone.
So we'll give him a couple of minutes to see if they want to join us. In the meantime, we'll turn that music down a bit.
No, but a very exciting race again, I think, there in Premier Division.
Brandon's in the chat saying that the party isn't showing up, so he might need a direct invite, but I'm sure we've invited him.
And we've got him.
And we've got him. We've got him. So can you hear us, Banter Brandon?
Yes, yes.
A very good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining me and Jones, not just leaving us hanging out there on our own. Congratulations on that P2. So how was the race for you, mate?
Yeah, no, obviously lap one was terrible. Yeah, incident with one of the Mercs, I don't know who it was, but yeah, I knew it wouldn't be over from there, so I just kept going, and yeah, Colin was too fast, but I'm happy I managed to get through that field, because that was tough.
What happened in quali? Because I noticed I was on my own in quali. Not that I'm going to mention that Jones left me on my own, but I was on my own in quali, and I didn't manage to catch up with you all the way through to the end. But you were kind of right downfield, which was surprising. Then all of a sudden you banged a lap in, and you were right up there. So tell us about what happened in quali.
Yeah, so my other controller, I think it's getting stick drift now. So my first lap, I was twitching left and right everywhere. It was terrible. So yeah, that's why on my last lap I went faster. I had to quickly switch controllers. So yeah, lovely.
That explains it, because I was thinking that's not your normal position to be around 9th, 10th, and then all of a sudden, bang, straight up there. So if it wasn't for that first lap incident, where do you think that you might have finished?
Well, I could be optimistic and say fight with Colin, but yeah, I don't know. I think P2 was the highest I could get today. I noticed Colin. He'll charge up for a lap and then he'll gap me by a second.
So
Yeah,
when
I don't think I'll be able to keep up with him.
So when you dropped to second, Colin, that was you didn't make a mistake then. That was Colin just charging up
Yeah.
and giving it a fast lap, was it?
Yeah, I noticed he does it a few times. If he has a gap to me, he'll charge up, give me some false hope that I'm staying with him, then he'll gap me by a second.
I think he's teasing you, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well, anyway, you'll be really pleased to know that me and Jones have done a bit of maths, right? So
Yeah.
during the race tonight, me and Jones did a bit of maths, and we might be wrong, of course, but we think that if Colin wins every race from now till the end of the season, and you finish every race in second, excluding fastest lap and pole position, you may finish on equal points. So that
Jesus.
I think that gives a bit of hope to know that it's only going to take one mistake from one of you two and everything could turn, because Colin's only had one race that he's not attended, and you've capitalised that and maximised it, and now he's chasing you because he can only gain 5 points a race on you, maybe 6 if he takes pole position. Sorry, 7.
Yeah.
If he takes pole position. He didn't take the fastest lap today, so you will still have a 33-point lead in the championship after tonight's race. So it's certainly not all gone, that's for definite.
No, yeah, I just gotta stay consistent, and whoever took that fastest lap's a legend. So I love
That was Bakker, yeah. After he also had an incident or two tonight. So next week. So next question. Next week is your home race at Silverstone. What do you think about that track, and what's your expectations for that?
Pray that I'm near Colin.
Do you like
Yeah,
the track?
I think hope. Yeah, I like. I mean, obviously, it's my home Grand Prix. I need to do well there. I think I'm alright at it. Yeah, I know, but if Colin's racing, then you never have a chance really. But yeah, I mean, I hope I can be fighting for the win there.
Good. Any questions from you, Jones, before we sign off and let this young man enjoy his evening?
Not really. Just, I mean, I came in late to it, as you know, but I thought you got through the field really well. Um, did you find it tough here? Because me and Spritzer were saying it can be quite a difficult track, and we really struggle with grip at times. How did you find it?
Yeah, especially sector one, that long right hander. Every time I was so cautious. Yeah, grip round here ain't easy. I don't know. Yeah, sometimes tires would overheat, even though I had low pressure. So yeah, I don't like the track, so I'm happy we're done with that now.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us, mate, and congratulations on the P2. It looks like nobody else has joined us in the party, so we will sign off from there. I think, Jones, thank you for joining me and not leaving me completely solo with my gin and tonics and my bulldog all evening. So hopefully you'll be joining us next week, Mr.
No
Jones.
problem. Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, we'll try and get a bit organised for next week, being our home Grand Prix, and just for Shaq, we may reinstall the webcams next week and see what technical data centre that Jones may appear into next week. But yeah, so that's all from us for tonight. If you have watched the stream and you would like to race with RPM, you can scan the QR code on your smartphone on the screen, and that will take you through to our Discord, where one of our glorious admins will be waiting to welcome you into RPM. That's everything from me. We will be back next week at Silverstone, starting on Tuesday with the Ice Age division, as apparently it's now known, which is aka the senior division. That's all from me. Thank you very much, Jones, for joining us, and I'll wish everybody a good evening.